You're listening to the sound of the 80s with the Old Skool Movements podcast.
You understand.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Old Skool Movements podcast. With me, Mr. Lucas.
Me, Chris. Me, Stax.
And me, Leroy. I'm still in the mood. I'm still singing. Still got Madness Barama in my head.
Still singing from last podcast. And we're still yet to get the ultimate winner of our podcast. It was between Madness and Duran, but we might sort this out with our guest today. Yesterday we have a guest on the show, and maybe she can have the final say on our winner of last time's podcast. So on the show today, because we are so excited when we have a guest, don't we, guys? When we have a guest on the show, we just can't wait to have them on, have a good old chat and a good old natter. And on today's show, we have DJ, radio presenter, and voiceover artist, DJ Leona Graham, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, thank you for having me on the podcast.
The best DJ. The best DJ.
Well, thank you so much. It's good to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Great to have you on. You look kind of puzzled when we was talking about what we just talked about, the Duran thing. But don't worry, we'll get to that with you in a minute. It was great meeting you at the Big 80s brunch. What a great brunch that is.
I know, I love the Big 80s brunch. I think it's a fantastic idea. The whole concept of it is brilliant. I'm well behind it.
It is. And you were spinning the tunes there, the old 80s classics, as we love.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. You know, it was just so much fun. I can't wait for there to be another one, really. Can't wait to get involved again. So, bring it on.
Yeah. Bring it on. All the 80s gear, you had your Back to the Future t-shirt on. You was getting well involved in that. Loved it.
Stonewashed denim.
You got to go all the way.
I even had gold trainers on.
What are you going to wear next time? What's it going to be? Luminous laces?
Shell suit?
Oh, yeah. We move it to the next level, you know. I've got a range of 80s T-shirts, so I shall bring out another one.
Right.
AC/DC?
I've got loads of AC/DC tops. But no, for the 80s things, I don't always go rock. I try and mix it up, you know, surprise people.
Which rock's your thing, right?
Yeah, I'm well known for being rock and AC/DC, but there's more to me than that. There's a whole genre of other stuff I like. So,
and that's what we're going to find out on this podcast, ain't we, Chris?
Yeah, that's it. At the moment, people can find you on Absolute Radio on DAB. Just ask your smart speaker.
Yeah.
You know, you've been there since it started back off as Virgin Radio, haven't you?
Yeah, so I've been there. What year are we in? Yeah, so I've been there 22 years.
22 years.
Wow.
Did you always want to get into radio? Like, how did you get?
Yeah, so I went to university right at the end of the 80s, 1989, and originally I wanted to be an actress because I did a bit of amateur dramatics, you know, on Sunday afternoons as a child. And we put on shows and I loved all that. And then I got to university and I went to join the drama club, and I found everybody really pretentious and really up themselves. And I didn't like it. I just didn't get the vibe from it. And it's just literally on my first day, I walked into the Students' Union and the radio station, they were doing an outside broadcast in the Students' Union to sort of show off that they had a radio station. Cool. And it was like a light bulb moment, because I've always been really into my tunes and my music. And I was that kid at school that always took in a mixtape and forced people, you've got to listen to this. You've got to listen to
the latest track.
And then I sort of thought, well, it's a bit of show business, but it's not on the stage. It's not so, the people seemed a bit more real. And it's music. And I just thought, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. And when I had that moment, it just changed everything. Then it was just a single-minded goal to get to that point.
Yeah, we didn't look back.
Straight
ahead.
I immediately went up to the DJ then and said, how can I be involved in this? They said, we're doing auditions. So I wanted to go.
Nice.
And I went there and I had to go in the studio, you know, for the first time ever. And I said, I really like this. This is what I want to do.
Yeah. And that went on to like local radio and then?
So then I left university. I finished the degree. And where did I go then? So then I moved up to Nottingham. So my university was at Warwick. In Coventry. Then I moved up to Nottingham and I got on a pirate radio station called Power FM. Yes. And I did weekend breakfast there. So it was like, even though it was a pirate station, it was all proper schedule and all very organised and everything. So I did weekend breakfast on that, and then I got to know all these people at this pirate station. They said, look, we're trying to get a real radio station in Birmingham. So I got involved with that and helped them write the application, and it became Choice FM Birmingham. So I started working there. So it's the same people at Choice London, but it was the Birmingham version, which was us lot, who were all from Nottingham. It was all didn't make any sense. So I started doing that, and then you move around local radio stations, don't you, until you get
find yourself
a big one
at Virgin.
Yeah.
So how many shows now? You do a show on Absolute 80s, and you also do Absolute the rock channel as well.
So it's Absolute Radio 10 a.m. 10 till 1, and then 1 till 4 Absolute 80s, and then 7 till 10 in the evening Absolute Classic Rock.
Wow.
That's a busy day. How do you fit all of that in?
How do you do that?
How do you think of all the music you're going to play for that much each day?
Yeah, so that's the difference between student radio and this radio, is that you're given a playlist. So that I don't have to do everything like that. So I can take requests, but I'm, the basic show I'm given.
It's laid out.
Yeah, there's a music department who will, spend ages going through, computer programs to make sure we haven't played this song too much and we haven't played that too much. And there's a good balance between male and female and all of the different categories. So, they do all that to make sure. Otherwise, would I just come on and play back-to-back AC/DC? You've got to make sure that there's a good balance, So there's that.
Something for everybody.
Yeah. So and also with voice tracking these days, not everything has to be live. So I can, record ahead. So.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot, though. That sounds like a lot to do. I think you need 4 guys to come and help you or something. I reckon.
I wonder who they could be.
I wonder who they could be, but
Let me think.
Yeah.
I started this one on a radio station in Lanzarote called Radio 1. Maybe we should do something on that. I think we should do something on that.
Yeah. Cool. Let's do that.
Because I wouldn't be allowed to on Absolute, but I might be able to on that one.
There we go.
We're in, lads. We're in.
Yeah, we're in. It's working. Because you've interviewed some legends, haven't you?
I've heard you spoke to people like Slash, Rod Stewart, Brian Johnson from AC/DC, Alice Cooper, Billy Idol. The list goes on.
Wow.
Who's been your favourite or most, the one you've wanted to interview the most?
Well, Brian Johnson of AC/DC.
Of course.
Who else? Brian Adams was quite recent, and he was a surprise to me. He was much more softly spoken and meek than I thought he would, because he's got that big, powerful voice, doesn't he? He was actually very different than I would imagine.
You thought he was going to talk how he sings? I was doing this today.
I thought he would talk to me like that, but he doesn't.
I envisioned him being softly spoken.
Oh, really?
For some reason.
No, and he seemed much more vulnerable and than I would imagine.
That's the impression I get.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't think that. I thought rock dude.
Yeah.
David Coverdale of Whitesnake. Now, as a teenager, I was massively into Whitesnake, and then interviewing him was just surreal. There's this what I thought, back then was like rock legend, rock god, and then I was talking to him, and he is as much as a flirty pervert as you might imagine. Actually, he is, as his songs would suggest. It wasn't a surprise, but yeah. So no, it is great to actually speak to these people that I've been listening to for years and years. It is surreal, and sometimes when I'm here in my little booth doing it, and I'm not in vision, I'm just listening to them, and I can look at myself and think, man, I'm just speaking to Brian Adams, man. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
We feel the same with some of our guests. Yeah.
Do you? Yeah. So you get it, don't you?
Yeah.
You know what it's like.
So has any of them been a letdown? Like, you're excited to talk to them, you're like, oh, this person ain't really.
Well, they've lived up to their name and wrecked the studio and smashed everything up.
Yeah. No, I have had people that have been really hard work. My first interview, now, because I went into radio as a presenter, interviewing is another skill, which I had to learn later. And so I did many, many years of just presenting shows, but then not doing interviews. And then so I was thrown in, and I think it was Genesis, but Phil Collins wasn't with them then. It was just the other two guys, and Mike Rutherford. He was a bit moody, and I found him a bit one-word answer. And it was in person, and I was just getting redder and redder and more and more stressed out, and that was just disastrous interview, and it put me off for a while. So so sometimes they can be a bit like have a bit moody, or you might ask the wrong question. I think I'd asked a question about Phil Collins, and I think it just annoyed him.
That was a trigger.
Right,
That was
Don't lead with the Phil Collins question.
But then I did them last year. Now they're all back to when they were back together last year. So then the three of them, it was different again. So I wasn't nervous this time. Phil Collins was with them, and it was fine. So I think a part of it was me. I was just too nervous.
Yeah. So DJing, presenter, and you also have a voiceover production company, right?
What, High Voltage Media?
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, High Voltage.
That's a good name.
Yeah, that's from an AC/DC song.
Danger.
It's anything media based, really. So it can be social media, websites, radio production, that kind of thing. You know, so because I'm freelance, even though I'm on Absolute Radio, what feels like all the time, I'm actually a freelancer, and so you have to prove that you are a freelancer, and you have to do other things. So try and mix it up a bit.
Do you do adverts and stuff?
I did used to do loads of voiceovers, but what happened was the more I got on Absolute, the less I kind of got. They wanted sort of an anonymous voice for a lot of the sort of radio adverts and things. And so it kind of backfired a bit. And I used to do loads of voiceovers for all different radio stations in the country. But then when I went on, it was called Virgin before. When I went on Virgin, I couldn't do any of the other stations. They said, well, you're on the national stations. I had to give up. I did the voiceovers for Radio 1, Capital, everybody, GWR network. At one point, I think I was on every radio station. And then I was on E4 when it first started. Did all the voiceovers on E4. Then I was on Channel 4, I was on ITV, BBC One. And I remember my friend said, we can't even sit down and watch the bloody television without hearing you. So I was on everything, and then it just went to nothing, because I think it kind of backfired in a way. So then I just did the more radio side of things anyway. So it was fine. The most well-known one I did was Airwaves chewing gum. Airwaves, sensational. So I was on that.
That's all it needed.
Yeah.
And I did Radio 1 in the 90s, so it was Radio 1.
I remember that. Yeah.
I know the other one. 97 to 99 FM news beats on Radio 1.
Yeah.
Nice. See, taking you back in time.
I know you have. You set my brain going. It's all coming back to me now.
Wow.
All those days of drinking. There is something in there.
Does your podcast sort of come under the High Voltage production?
Yeah, that's my own. Yeah. So it comes under that little umbrella.
And the podcast is?
It's called the Rock and Road Podcast. So it's about, I normally get a musician on, and it's about cars and motorbikes as well.
Ooh.
Okay, so you're into the cars and motorbikes.
It's good you said that. Yeah. We're going to ask you a set of questions on all that anyway.
God.
Sorry.
What
year was the
Yamaha 15689 today?
I'm not an expert in that respect. It just kind of evolved. It just kind of evolved, and me sort of trying out cars and bikes. I'm not an expert, but you can go ahead and ask me something.
Yeah. No. We was joking. We ain't going to go all Top Gear on you.
Thank God.
It's all good. It's what we do with all our guests. We have a section called Firsts and Favourites. So we'll ask you when was the first time, or what was your favourite, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we go. So
we're doing that right now. Okay.
Yeah, we're doing it
Brace
right
myself.
now.
Okay.
Right now.
Straight into
So your first. Let us know what was your first album or song that you bought?
My first single, 7-inch vinyl, was Shakin' Stevens' This Old House.
This Old House. Shakin' Stevens. Were you a big fan of it then?
Yeah, loved him.
Wow.
So I can't remember what year that was. I think I was about 12. And my first album was Shawaddy Waddy.
Wow.
Love that.
Yeah.
I just love saying the name Shawaddy Waddy.
Isn't it? It's a great name. So yeah, love Shawaddy Waddy.
Shakin' Stevens and Shawaddy Waddy. You remember when Shakin' Stevens, he was drunk on some like Smash Hits Awards or something, and he one of them TV shows, and he tried to like jump on Philip Schofield or something.
Oh wow.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, he was just buzzing. Anyway, This old house, all that, yeah.
Yeah, I've still got it. I've still got this old house. Yeah, I've still got it.
Wow, and behind the green door. And all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's my dad's quite into rock and roll, so it kind of spun off from that, you know, that rock and roll vibe that he had.
70s
Shaker Stevens.
thing,
Yeah. And obviously I was quite young then, so I suppose it's the equivalent of what people, sort of some pop that you're into when you're 11 and 12, before I moved into sort of more rock. It was Bon Jovi that turned me into the rock.
Oh man,
Yeah.
what a group.
Yeah. So you was halfway there, but then when you listened to him, he's living on the prairie, wasn't he?
Halfway there.
Through the hearts, yeah.
All right, so that's our first. So favourite. So back in the day, you know, watching telly as a kid, what was your favourite comedy series?
So I was going to say before, when you were talking about Shaker Stevens on the TV, I didn't watch that much TV as a kid. Comedy series. As a child, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, during the 80s.
What was that one? It's called Why Don't You? Do you remember that one?
Why don't you?
I do. And I didn't like.
Yeah, we mention it quite often.
I didn't like.
Because we used to turn it off.
Yeah, it was.
Sitting
like
at
that.
home watching TV, turn it off, no good to me. So why don't you?
That's it. And the other one I used to watch was Tiz Was on a Saturday.
Saturdays. Saturdays.
Custard pie.
Saturdays.
Custard pie.
is
Lenny
Tiz
Henry,
Was
Chris
Day.
Tarrant.
Yeah.
Love Tiz Was. All right.
Didn't you like Kickstart? As soon as you like motorbikes.
No, I didn't watch that. No.
Kickstart was good.
Kickstart was
Yes, Kickstart was
Was it?
good.
Yeah, Charles Bikes.
Stunts, yeah.
I think I missed out on a lot. I think I missed out on a lot of TV.
All right, so you're probably more outdoorsy. So what was your first concert you went to?
Oh, White Snake. 1987. It was New Year's Eve. I think it was 1986 into 1987, New Year's Eve, at Wembley Arena.
Wow. Any experience?
I wish I could tell you. I don't remember any of it.
Just know you were there. That's all you need to. I remember I was there.
I was a
That's
very
good then.
heavy drinker, and unfortunately, there's huge chunks missing. Don't remember that gig at all. And I've had to talk about it a lot because it's something they always talk about on the radio. Like, you know, let's talk about our first gigs. And I actually had to phone up the guy I went to the gig. So, can you tell me what happened? I don't remember any of it. Yeah.
Too much white lightning.
Yeah.
Lightning, didn't it?
It was bad.
Right.
He did say that we did start drinking earlier in the day, and of course the concert was in the evening, so that's why I don't remember it.
Wow.
Sorry.
What an experience. All right. So what was your favourite crisps to eat?
Ready salted, just real plain, just the ready salted Walkers.
Don't you mean Golden Wonders?
No, I think it's the ones, you know, where you rip the salt.
The blue.
Yeah.
Is that
No,
Smith's?
Salt and shake. Yeah,
Salt and
Smith's,
shake.
Salt and shake.
We
Yeah.
want
Those
to
are good.
be
Yeah.
Smith's crisp.
That's
Yeah,
it.
we
Yeah.
Those ones.
Yeah, those
So,
ones.
But you didn't put the salt in. You just took the salt away and just had them extra.
No,
plain.
I put the salt.
Put the salt in. Yeah, they
were
weren't right about the salt.
Yeah.
No,
Salt
no.
and shake.
Baked
But you could.
potato.
Do you remember they started to do that with like cheese and onion and salt and
and
vinegar?
bacon, and you got
you
flavoured
could
salt.
Shake
Yeah.
all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't last long.
They didn't last long, did they?
No.
No.
They were
They were a
annoying.
good idea though. No, I like
No,
that
I like
idea.
them.
No,
Yeah.
because you have to search for them and all that.
Too much preparation, man. I just want it ready.
Yeah.
Give me my crisp now.
Yeah.
No, I thought
Yeah.
I thought it was a good idea. Anyway, what was your favourite radio station in the 80s to listen to?
Oh, another weird thing. I didn't listen to the radio. I wasn't a normal child, honestly. It's amazing when I went into radio. I had no knowledge of radio at all until that day I walked into the university. So I just listened to my own music. I just was obsessed. I had my own little music centre and had my records and my tapes and my own mixtapes.
Did you record off the radio? Did you, play and record at the same time?
I can remember doing that when I was much younger, sort of 12, and my dad's system, the play and record to make the tapes,
Making
on
a
a Sunday
mixtape.
afternoon,
Cutting out
definitely that.
the DJ's voice.
Yes. I didn't want to hear the
did
DJ.
that, yeah.
Ironically,
Didn't want to hear
I
the
became
DJ.
one.
Yeah.
And if they spoke over
Wicked.
the record, they used to really annoy you, didn't they?
Yeah.
Why is he
Yeah.
talking? And then I do
Yeah.
it now. I talk over over the record now. I think I'm that person that everyone hates.
yeah. When they used to talk, but there were some radio stations that would talk in the middle of the track. The track's playing, and like you're on the first chorus, and they come in talking. It's like, what are you doing?
No, that's awful. That is awful. That's awful.
Yeah.
But my sister did. She always used to have Capital Radio on. I can remember that.
I think they were the ones in the 80s, I think. Capital. Everyone listened to Capital.
Yeah. In the 90s, actually, I got into dance music. And so I went through a real dance music phase, like garage and house music. I went away from rock for a little while. So in the 90s, I was in my 20s. So I think that's why I went down that path for a bit. I went back into rock later on. So yeah, and obviously when I was on Power FM and Choice FM, I played a lot of soul and R&B. So I went through a phase of listening to all of that music. So I kind of go through phases really. Now I'm a bit of everything.
Wide range.
Well-rounded.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Dance Energy in the 90s?
No.
Because you didn't watch TV.
No. What was Dance Energy? What is it?
It was a show that
BBC Two show
on BBC Two, created by Janet Street Porter, and Normski was the presenter, and it just celebrated dance music at that time, whether it was hip hop, house, techno, jungle,
everything.
reggae, everything was just on this show. It was like an urban Top of the Pops.
Right. Yeah. In
a nutshell.
And Darren was on it.
Oh, were you?
I was
dancing away.
Man. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Everyone was dying to get on that.
Dancing in the 90s was just awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that's just all I wanted to do was just go out and dance all night.
Yeah. And that's what clubs are like. You just literally, you can find your own space and just dance.
Go for it.
Just lost yourself.
Yeah. Loved it.
We call it my 90s arms when I'm dancing. I still do it now with my arms. My 90s arms. Just go back
That's
and
the thing. Once we find a dance move when we're adults, that sticks with us.
Yeah.
That's our move. That's our signature.
Yeah.
We ain't changing. We might put a hand to the left or something, but that'll be it.
You see me at the 80s thing doing my 90s move.
Nice. Leona, we're going to ask you, because on our podcast, when it's us guys just chatting away, gantering, is that a word? Gantering, is that?
It sounds like it could be.
Yeah.
It's a new word.
Yeah.
I tried to mix bantering with
gossip.
I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Thanks for saving me. When we normally ganter, you can use that one if you want for free, Leona. It's all right.
Okay. It sounds like a slow horse trot.
Yeah. While we're gantering, we do verses. So we pit our favourites against each other. So like, as we were saying in the last podcast, we done the pop groups. Pop groups versus each other. And we came at the end. The joint winners were Madness and Duran Duran. And me and Chris were like Duran. Stax and Leroy were like Madness. And so we needed an outright winner. And so it's your job to announce that winner.
I know who you're going to go with.
Wait, no influence.
No influence, but I know who she's going to go with. I know who it is.
So are we ready for this right now? Yeah, we're doing it.
Yeah, so but go on hits. Yeah.
Hits and their overall style and how they looked and videos, that's sort of how we sort of marked them on our how we got to where we were.
Yeah.
Okay. We ready? We're doing it now.
Yeah, drum roll.
Okay.
And the winner is from last time's 80s pop group part 1 is
it's going to be Madness.
Oh,
they call it Madness. Yes. Welcome to the House of Fun.
Yeah, but they had so many hits. Right? And they're all of equal high standard quality, aren't they? There wasn't any rubbish hits.
Yeah.
They were all really good. And then the more you listen to them, the more you realise, oh my God, they had so many. It just goes on and on and on and on and on.
Exactly.
And there was a whole load of them in the band, weren't there? There was just loads of
them. I'm not upset. It's, Madness.
We couldn't decide. Yeah, exactly. That's why they threw.
Do you know what? It's actually really close because so did Duran Duran have loads of hits.
They did.
They had loads.
So it's a really difficult one to call, but I think Madness just slightly pips the place.
Exactly. My girl's mad at me.
Do you play any of those tracks on your shows? From Madness?
Oh yeah, play loads of Madness and Duran Duran.
Who'd you play more of?
It's up to the person who puts the show together.
Now he's trying to get the verdict overturned somehow in a sly way.
Madness we play on both Absolute 80s and on Absolute Radio. So probably Madness I play more of.
Aha.
And also Suggs was a DJ on Absolute Radio for a while as well.
Okay.
Oh.
Cool. No, don't get me wrong. I love Madness. Either way, but we needed an eventual winner, and thank you. Thank you, Leona, for.
Phew, okay. Sorry if I've upset all the Duran Duran fans.
No.
We're going to do a quick fire versus now with you.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's along that same sort of thing.
Yeah.
No pressure there.
No pressure.
I shall try and keep calm.
So the verses, So first one, Queen or Bon Jovi?
Oh no, that's evil. That's just
That
really
is
mean.
horrid.
That's just mean. I mean, am I talking about a personal point of view? Because if it's going to be personal, it's got to be Bon Jovi because they were the first rock band I got
you into it, yeah.
Yeah. It's tricky because you wanted this to be quick, didn't you? Should I just come to a decision?
No.
Can I expand? Because I have spoken to Brian May a few times, and then you look at Queen's back catalogue. You know, it's
Crazy.
do you know what I mean? But as a Bon Jovi person, I bought Slippery When Wet when it came out. That's the album that changed everything for me. Then I went and bought their earlier albums, which are also brilliant. But I'm going to stick with Bon Jovi. Final answer.
Okay.
We'll
handle that. Another one bites the dust.
This is really stressful. What have you got for me next?
Stress her out more,
This
Chris.
one might be a bit easier. Pink Floyd or The Who?
Ooh, that's hard as well.
I'm going to say The Who.
The Who.
The Who.
Yeah.
The Who, yeah. Pinball Wizard, one of my favourites. And in the 80s, I used to drink in this pub called the Iron Horse. And we used to play a pinball machine. And we just played it all the time. It's just great memories of drinking in that pub.
Oh, nice,
So yeah, go with that one.
Excellent. You know what? I met Roger Daltrey once.
Did you?
He's such a cool guy. I met him just walking down the high street.
He
And,
seems like a cool guy.
I'm like, you're Roger Daltrey. We started talking. He's a big Arsenal fan. So am I. So we had a really good chat for about 15
that's
minutes.
amazing.
Just
That's
about
brilliant.
football. Just talk,
Yeah.
didn't like fan out and go, just like chatting about football. And like people walking past like, that's not Roger Daltrey just chatting to this dude about football. That can't be it. But he was really cool. He was a really cool guy. Okay, you're a DJ. So, vinyl or CDs?
Vinyl.
All day.
All day.
All day long. All day, every day.
Yeah.
That's an easy one.
That takes us nice into the next question then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Technic 1210s or DJ controllers?
Oh.
So new school style of mixing or old school vinyl to Technics?
So on the old Technics, because it's a tricky one because I use a DJ controller now. I'm going to say the Technics.
Yeah.
Good. Keep it old school. Keep it vinyl.
Yeah. There's something about vinyl, isn't there?
Have you got 1210s? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. No. That years ago I had some vinyls, but record players. But I've just got the one now. You know, just old-fashioned, one at a time.
Nice. All right. So before I ask this next question, I need to know this, right? You didn't watch TV, okay?
No.
But did you go to the cinema?
Yes,
This
I remember
next question
seeing.
is based on cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went cinema in the 80s, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't think of one thing I saw, but yeah.
Okay.
This might not work.
This one might not work. This one might not. Okay. Have you seen Star Wars?
Not at the cinema, but I've seen it.
You've seen all of them, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen the film Tron?
Oh my God. Yes, because my partner made me watch it a few years ago. Because some weird 80s thing, isn't it?
Okay.
It's a weird 80s thing. Yeah.
Okay. Now I could ask the question.
Okay.
So you love your bikes, right?
Yeah.
And based on those two movies, they have some fantastic bikes in those two movies.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the bikes in the movie? So there's a Tron bike that just goes a zillion miles an hour and cuts corners very sharp.
Neon, lit up all neon looking.
Or there's the Star Wars speeder bikes that they sit on and go through the forest in. And
Which bike?
Yeah.
Which bike? Oh.
which bike would you have if you could have either of those bikes?
The Star Wars one, I think. Yeah.
Speeder bike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We got there in the end.
Yeah, sorry. It's painful with me. Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was doing.
Bringing that question into the real world then, back in sort of the 80s and that, the bikes to have for where I was from was either a Honda Club 90 or a Honda Vision 50cc. Do you remember either, and what one would you have?
My first bike was a Honda H100. So, do you remember that?
I know that one. Yep.
Yeah.
So you didn't go down the mopeds first. You didn't have like a 50cc before.
No.
Oh, see, we started off with a 50cc mopeds.
No, I had a Honda H100 and I didn't have it very long. I de-restricted it in that time and I crashed it and it got stolen and it was all in about 10 days. Yeah.
Oh dear.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
That's enough to put you off bikes for life.
It did. I didn't use them again for ages until 2018. And then I did all my bike tests and big bike tests and did the whole lot.
So what's your bike thing now? The big street bike or the more?
I've got a Honda NC 750X at the moment, which is a nice big powerful bike, but it's quite upright. It's quite comfortable.
Yeah.
That's the thing with bikes. You look at the sporty ones and you think, yeah, but they're not comfortable.
They ache. Yeah.
No, yeah, because I got a Ninja first of all when I passed my test.
Yeah, I did like a Ninja.
But my wrists couldn't cope with the leaning down.
Yeah.
So I think it's my age. So I had to get a more upright bike. It's just not as cool. I should have just carried on when I was younger. I shouldn't have given it all up, but oh well. I'm making up for lost time now. because of the podcast, various different biking manufacturers send me bikes to try out. So I'll try out different bikes for a week. So that's great.
Oh, wow.
So
that's really good.
Yeah. I had a Ducati recently.
I was going to ask you about have you had to go on any Ducatis? I like Ducatis.
Yeah, a Ducati Monster and Triumph often send me stuff and so that's quite good. Yeah.
I can see Stax' mind ticking. Oh, I'm going to do my own podcast. Talk about this. And maybe I'll drive Ferraris next week.
I was going to say, okay, yeah, time to do a car.
We're going to specialise in a Lambo and Ferrari podcast. That's from now.
The Tesla show.
I've got a car at the moment, Toyota Aygo, a little car that they just lent me for a week as well. That's quite a cool little car. Yeah.
We are changing our strategy.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Wow. Yeah. So, yeah. I love Learjets. Have you ever been in a Learjet, guys? Can anyone hear us? Hear us.
Holidays to the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Holidays to the Caribbean podcast. Wow. That is, wow. So, Leona, it's been great having you on podcast. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
No, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the amazing DJ Leona on the Old Skool Movements podcast. Give it a round of applause, guys.
Round of applause.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, that was DJ Leona, guys, man. She was
yes.
good. Great guest there, man.
All hail DJ Leona.
There you go. Press the horn. Get the horns on for that, man. Get the
horns
horns on for DJ Leona, man. Where can we check her out?
On DAB, online, Absolute Radio, the Absolute 80s lunchtime thing as it is. They play some good tracks. It's a good listen.
Yeah, man. If you like your 80s grooves, then listen to Absolute Radio with DJ Leona every weekday. Yeah. So yeah, guys. Until next time. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, guys. I'm Mr. Lucas.
I'm Chris.
That's
Bruce Leroy.
Till next time.
Till next time. Peace.
Peace out. The best podcast in the world.